there, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Nationwide. I'm Joseph Johnson. Many thanks for joining us. In furtherance of the ongoing efforts to address the high cost of living and make life comfortable for Nigerians, the federal government has approved some measures that would boost agricultural production and distribution. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports on this and other deliberations at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja.
Government had responded to this items by raising a task force at the last FEC meeting to look into this and make suggestions on how to address it. That task force was given 7 days to carry out its mandate. Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe briefed the council on the findings of the task force, which include cost of transportation and other constraints.
We shall be looking into our reserves if the situation in the next few days persists, and to see what we can bring out to lower the prices, because another round of harvests will be coming up again by the end of March. So there is really no starvation in the land. The other factor is what you know already. There's a lot of pressure on Nigerian food from West, North, and Central Africa. So we've considered the following alternatives: using railway wagons along the current railway network. We avoided the multiple taxation that is visited on transporters in this country by local government roadblocks, most of them not very legal, along the highways.
We've approved a set of measures to encourage both the local production as well as to attract more investments into tomato farming, processing, all the way in the value chain to how tomato gets to our tables. These measures will include things we're doing to make sure we farm tomato around the year, things like greenhouse equipment, making sure that they can come in without any barriers or duties. And they also include the use of both tariff and non-tariff measures to address an issue Nigerians are extremely concerned about, which is the dumping of products here.
Council also approved some road projects as announced by Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola.
Construction of Ilorin Umuaran Kaba Road, section 1 of it, in order to complement the ongoing works on the Kaba Egbe Road to link Kwara and Kogi states. The second approval was for consultancy services for professionals to conduct line route studies, environmental social impact assessment, and resettlement action plan, as well as environmental social management plan, in order for us to access the JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, loan to support TCN to continue its transmission grid expansion program. It's important simply to say that this consultancy for 3 different consultants is about 589 million. And the first project, which is the construction of Ilorin Umuaran Kaba Road, is for 21 billion.
On the President's health, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the President is ill and healthy.
I can say it without any equivocation. Mr. President is well, is ill, and is healthy. No question about that.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo presided over the meeting. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
To the legislature, where the National Assembly is advocating more priority attention to be given to the science and technology sector, especially through funding in order to attain the goals of government policy in manufacturing. This came to the fore when some agencies under the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology took turns to defend their 2016 budget performance before the House Committee on Science and Technology. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
Appraising the 2016 budget performance of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Energy Commission and the National Center for Technology Management, the committee members observed shortfalls in the recurrent budget, inadequate and late releases of funds for capital projects, which they say is responsible for low performance of the agencies, urging them to adequately collaborate with sister agencies and the private sector to ensure quality and durability of locally manufactured goods such as the solar energy panel. The committee explained that such will encourage patronage. They also explained the need for the budget estimates to be prioritized to achieve the desired goal.
I would say about overall only 30% was released to the sector, and that's not good enough because when you have agencies that are responsible for transforming the agricultural sector, the industrial sector, the manufacturing sector, the health sector, science and technology should be a priority for any government that wants to succeed.
While the provisions of the 2017 budget proposals of the agencies focused on renewable energy sustainability, capacity building and technological advancement to promote local content in the manufacturing industry, the agencies urged the National Assembly to consider amendment of some of the obsolete laws to facilitate implementation.
We are proud to say that renewables is in the limelight in this country because of Energy Commission of Nigeria. And we're happy most of the agencies are now going into it because it's the energy of the future.
Our overhead last year was only 60 million. So splitting that amount of 60 million into six zonal offices and headquarters, it was very meager.
From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, Pali Iriase, has called for improved budgetary provision for the Benin-Owena River Basin Authority. While addressing newsmen, he said these will ultimately enhance federal government's plans to diversify the economy through agriculture. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
Allocation to recurrent expenditure excluding established personnel costs for 2017 is 30.6 million naira, while for ongoing and new capital projects, 755 million naira is allocated. The Deputy Chief Whip reacts to these provisions.
Benin-Owena River Basin Authority serves 4 states, namely Delta, Edo, Ekiti, and Ondo states, which are critical to the success of the agricultural and diversification policy of the federal government.
In another development, a public hearing on a bill for an act to repeal the Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development Agency Act and reenact the Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria was widely supported by key players in the industry.
Artisans, craftsmen, market women, and because they form the largest chunk of the business transaction and the multiplier effect they have on the economy is enormous.
This is something that will have great impact to the macro, small and medium businesses in Nigeria. This is what has been happening in other places.
Who will be the better for it? The struggling MSME man or woman in the street? Our country, Nigeria.
Also, a bill for an act to make it mandatory for vehicle tires to bear manufacturing and expiry dates to prohibit importation of used, substandard and expired tires, sponsored by Yakub Abiodun Balogun, was well received.
You say this tire with all this trend, you say it is good. Whereas when it is expired, see what has resulted. Only God knows what happened to the occupant of the car that brought this about.
A bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute for Training and Development of Nigeria was also considered. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Meanwhile, an appeal has gone to the National Assembly to carefully look into the 2017 budget and pull out frivolous, inappropriate, unclear and wasteful estimates before its passage into law. The appeal was made by a civil society group while expressing concern over past budgets whose implementation were unrealistic. Basi Taekbang has details.
Briefing newsmen on the 2017 budget proposals before the National Assembly, The leader of the group noted that, in the face of the present economic realities, there is need for the federal budget, along with other economic policies, to provide a guide and direction on the way forward for Nigeria.
So if an expenditure head is frivolous, or if it is wasteful, or if it's inappropriate, they can remove it from the budget, or if it is the demand for money is on the high side, they can reduce the vote for that particular line item. So at the end of the day, is our contribution to the legislative approval of the budget.
The group urged the National Assembly to carefully scrutinize the various proposals by the MDAs to avoid duplication. Their briefing on the 2017 budget is focused on the need for adequate implementation of the budget in order to alleviate poverty and improve the living condition of the people. In Abuja, Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
Now let's get to some of the other news. This time we turn our attention to Uyo because the federal and Akwa Ibom state governments have signed a memorandum of understanding to fast-track plans to reform prisons in the state. The agreement was formally sealed at Government House, Uyo, when the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazao, visited Governor Udom Emmanuel. Clement Bariquin reports.
Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazao signed the Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of the federal government, while Governor Udom Emmanuel signed for the Akwa Ibom state government. The minister acknowledged that the Uyo prison is congested with over 900 inmates against 600 it ought to accommodate. It disclosed that Akwa Ibom is the first state to have given maximum cooperation to the federal government's effort towards prisons reformation.
Any convict that goes into the prison from this state will come out a better person because we have also designed an excellent rehabilitation program for this.
Under the agreement, Akwa Ibom state government pledged to provide 15 hectares of land and other logistics for the relocation of the Uyo prison. Governor Udom Emmanuel said the relocation of the prison has become necessary in view of its bad state.
Our last count, we have over 140 billion of federal assets that we've intervened, which have not been reimbursed at all.
When completed, the proposed new Uyo prison will accommodate 1,000 inmates, offices and quarters. In Uyo, Clement Bariquin, NTA News.
Back to Abuja, where more efforts are being made to promote the practice of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, at the grassroots. To this end, an ADR training session has been held in Abuja for people from all spheres of the society. Femi Okewo has the report.
At a time of scarcity of funds and low financial yields, such as in a recession, people are quick to express anger and can easily get provoked. It is at times like that that people need to know how to manage disputes amicably to promote peace and harmonious coexistence. This is what has led to a series of special trainings organized in Abuja by the chartered mediators and conciliators for a cross-section of people who are also expected to carry out similar programs in their neighborhoods.
Our major focus now is to create the critical mass of mediators, knowledgeable mediators and conciliators who can serve the process going forward. We have entered into informal contact with the federal government, and as we speak with you, we are due to meet with some principal officers of the National Assembly.
The series of trainings are planned for other parts of the country in the near future. Femi Okewo, NTA News.
We now join Jennifer in our Lagos Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Joseph. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. In its bid to make Lagos State Africa's model megacity of choice, the Lagos State government has disclosed plans to improve the various means of transportation across the state. The state governor, Akinwumi Ambode, said the state is partnering with Chinese investors to ensure speedy completion of the Ikoyi-Lekki rail corridor. He made this known while receiving a certificate of admission of Lagos as one among 100 resilient cities of the world. Nosa Osula reports.
The governor said it was a starting point and a positive partnership that would help the state address the challenges of urban planning, transport gridlock, environment, and modern infrastructure.
This is just signifying one of our biggest achievements that we have actually achieved in the last 20 months. For the very first time, a state in the country, Lagos is being admitted as one of those 100 resilient cities across the world.
President of 100 Resilient Cities, Michael Bekowitz, said out of the over 1,000 applications received and 3 rounds of selection process, Lagos was chosen for its innovative leadership, infrastructural strides, and influential status, not just in Africa, but in the world.
We had over 1,000 applications, so it was incredibly competitive. And people often ask me, why did you select Lagos? And the reason is 3. We looked for innovative leadership that was willing to be partners with us.
The governor thereafter signed a memorandum of understanding with the mayor of Painesville, Liberia, C.V. Gibson, which would facilitate information sharing around resilience in the 2 cities with a view to bring about economic developments. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
Availability and steady supply of electricity play a critical role in the growth and socio-economic development of any nation. The current power situation in the country, which has plunged further due to the activities of Niger Delta militants, is no doubt impeding the economic development in the country. Managing Director, Eco Electricity Distributing Company, Oladele Amoda, has however expressed optimism that government's efforts will help in addressing the challenges soon. He was speaking when the management of NTA Lagos Network Center paid him a courtesy visit in Lagos. Jane Ujuku reports.
Part of the challenges militating against steady power supply, the managing director of EKEDC, Mr. Amuda, said, is the inability of the distribution company to operate cost-effective tariff. Dilapidated infrastructure, which he noted that the investors have contributed in salvaging, and the theft of energy by unscrupulous customers who bypass meters. He said the various arms of government are working together to improve power generation, transmission and distribution to boost supply.
We will do all that we have in our path to make sure that we have improvements in terms of power supply to.
Zonal Director, Nigerian Television Authority, Lagos Network Center, Mr. Chidi Unuka, explained that the visit became necessary, particularly as NTA gets set for digitization, which is bound to increase its workload in terms of content generation and technical operations. He appealed to EKEDC to provide NTA with a dedicated line to improve its power supply to the station.
We cannot do anything without power. And moreover, we spend a lot of money on diesel, and we came here to appeal with them to see what they can do to up their game.
With this visit, I think it has actually reinforced the relationship, ensure that our services are improved.
The 2 organizations pledged to work together for mutual benefit and the benefit of the public. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. I hand it over to my colleague in Abuja for more. Stay tuned.
Jennifer, don't tell me you just forgot my name. Joseph, it is. Thanks for joining us in Abuja again. Concerns have been raised over the lack of access to the official forex window for businesses to source for raw materials to make available commodities for Nigerians. While X-raying the forex crisis on Good Morning Nigeria, economic experts say a sound policy review on forex is the way out. Gufang Shaji has details.
Foreign exchange scarcity remains a nightmare that would not go away, hitting hard on all sectors of the economy. In the parallel market, U.S. dollar exchanges for as much as 500 naira, giving rise to a high increase in commodity prices, especially imported ones. Economic experts have stressed the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to harmonize the exchange rate to enhance stability and the need for government to be firm in implementation of exchange rate policies.
So it's a difference of implementation of beautiful plans, which we always have, very creative plans. Then secondly is about compliance.
And, you know, we've not been able to tame the activities of speculators. And for as long as that is there, no matter how much we bring on this other side, it will never be enough.
With little or no oil revenue coming into government coffers and the attendant huge pressure on the nation's foreign exchange reserves, the guest suggested urgent diversification of the economy, especially the agricultural sector.
Agri actually contributes 24% of the GDP. And if we are efficient there, I'll bet you we will not only produce to consume, to feed the nation, but we could produce to export. And in which case, the hard currency becomes available.
When you have scarcity, you must adopt some certain measures that will ensure all the sectors have also benefit, all receipts of this limited dollar that you are having.
The need for strict monitoring of registered Bureau de Change, BDC, to ensure that illegal forex markets do not exist was also stressed. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Now, a bit on religion. Over 22,000 people are expected to perform the 2017 Hajj from Gombe State. Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Mukhtar Muhammad, disclosed this while presenting clearance certificate for 2017 Hajj operation to the state in Abuja. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
This marks the beginning of this year's Hajj activities, with Gombe State taking the lead in the A category. Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Mukhtar Muhammad, assured intending pilgrims of quality services. He said seat allocation for this year's Hajj exercise is subject to the license categories of the states.
It is our hope and prayers that with this, our pilgrims will get better service, the Hajj managers will get more focus, and the state governors will continue to give the State Pilgrims Welfare Board and agencies the desired support.
Gombe, being a bigger state, they are able to organize their pilgrims well, in terms of luggage management, in terms of their each-track, and in manner at which they educate their pilgrims.
We've been doing our best to make sure that we've been following the laws as stipulated by the Commission, and that's what we continue doing, inshallah al-Karim. And I'm sure other states will also do the same.
States and local governments have been challenged to be more focused and transparent in their transactions. About 95,000 intending pilgrims are expected to perform this year's Hajj from Nigeria. And out of this number, Gombe State, being the first to collect their license, have gotten about 22,000 slots. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Ahead of the 2018 population census, management and staff of the National Population Commission converged on Kaduna to brainstorm on how to apply ICT to have our issue-free exercise. Tina Turo has details.
The National Population Commission was established in 1988 to provide demographic data for national development. To effectively and efficiently carry out its mandate, the Commission brought together members of its staff to work towards its transition from a paper census to a paperless one through the use of technology in line with international best practices.
Our roadmap for the migration of the operations of the Commission to the digital platform is worked out. We achieved a better appreciation of how the geoportal is positioned to help the Commission in relevant information dissemination.
The success of the transition is, however, dependent on training and retraining of staff.
Now, technology, first of all, you must have it. The technological machine, the machine itself, you must be able to acquire it. Then you must have trained manpower to take care of the needs of. So those are the things. And this workshop is intended to highlight some of these problems.
For census to be achieved, it requires certain processes. And one of those processes has to do with ICT. And there is nothing you can achieve in the world today, in a modern society, without foundation on critical architecture of ICT.
The workshop has the theme ICT, a vehicle for effective and efficient delivery of the Commission's core mandate. In Kaduna, Tina Turu, NTA News.
Although Nigerian media has come of age in terms of nurturing democracy and development, the explosion and growing influence of social media demands a regulatory framework to make the practice consistent with national aspirations. These was the views of guests on NTA Current Affairs program, Moment for Thought.
Probably, it will not be out of place if we declare something like a media emergency in the sector, in order to group or bring together actors within the social media, as well as drivers of the mainstream media itself and consumers of media products.
The media that we would need at a time like this is the one that is active, but the one that is balanced. Not one that doesn't care what implications its actions or inactions will have on the polity.
Moment for Thought will be broadcast tonight at 10:30 on NTN network service. Now let's join Chiegonu in our Enugu Network Center for more news on Nationwide. Chiegonu, it's over to you.
Good afternoon, Joseph, and welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Government has approved the employment of 344 health practitioners comprising resident doctors, nurses, and consultants in different fields at Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane. Commissioner for Information, Dr. Godwin Uduayele, made this known to journalists after the state executive meeting held in Enugu. Ijeoma Weke was there.
The employment of more staff at the hospital, Commissioner said, is based on the recommendation of National Postgraduate Medical College and West African College of Physicians.
The recruitment/employment of more staff, which will include consultants in many fields, resident doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff, totaling 344. To Park Lane Teaching Hospital, Enugu.
Approval was also given for the release of 100 million naira to the Institute of Management and Technology, IMT Enugu, to meet up with its obligation of accreditation by National Board for Technical Education for some of its courses. The Executive Council also approved the proposal for online publication of Daily Star newspaper and immediate procurement of software and other facilities for the implementation of internal public sector accounting standard at local government council in the state. Also approved was the reconstituted Enugu State Children's Parliament with Ms. Olagu Nkem as the speaker, and the draft bill for a law to amend the School Transfer Law Cap 141, revised law of Enugu State 2004, and authorized same to be forwarded to Enugu State House of Assembly for legislative action. In Enugu, Ijeoma Weke, NTA News.
The Federal High Court 1 Enugu now has a new judge. He is Justice A.M. Lehman, formerly of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Chinyere Okoye tells us more.
1 Enugu had in the past 6 months been without the regular judicial activities following the compulsory retirement of the immediate past judge, Justice Mohammed Yunusa, by the National Judicial Council in July last year. Since then, litigants and their counsels, whose cases have been pending in that court, waited patiently for a new judge to preside over their matters. Justice A.M. Liman from the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, resumed on the 30th of last month and is expected to preside over civil and criminal matters, numbering over 200 pending before the court. Already, staff of Court 1 are preparing various case files for the commencement of full legal activities in that court. From the Federal High Court, Enugu, Chinyere Okoye, NTA News.
And the Enugu State House Committee on Works has ordered the arrest of one of the contractors handling a state government project due to poor performance. The committee, led by the chairman of Works Committee, Mr. Sunday Udokoye, issued the order during an oversight visit to the project site in Enugu South Council area of the state. Susan Eze tells us more.
Is the construction of a Balo bridge across Nama River with 200-meter stretch of road linking Umogo Amechi, Enugu South Council area. The project, according to the residents and the site engineers, has total contract sum of 44 million naira, out of which first mobilization sum of 13 million was received within the first week of December last year. Although the contractor gave reasons for the delay in the job, the committee members were not happy with the pace and quality of work on ground. They warned that redundant contractors would be blacklisted and made to pay back mobilization fund. The legislators were further enraged on discovering that the workers on site were not qualified for the job, consequent upon which they ordered for the arrest of the contractor. The caretaker chairman of Enugu South Council area, Sunday Ugu, and a community member, Daniel Onya, were also not impressed with the pace of work at the site.
The concrete work is nothing is to write home about. Let us be seeing something practically on the ground, and up to now nothing is going on.
The committee was, however, impressed with the level of work in the construction of Maryland Ndemdem Bridge, linking New Era and Achara Layout, Enugu. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Well, that's it from here. Joseph, over now to you for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Chegonu from our Enugu Network Center there. A dual carriageway to link communities around Rigasa and Mandu to Kaduna International Airport has reached an appreciable level of completion. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports that if completed, the road will give access to the teeming communities and others alike. His report.
Since the pronouncement by the federal government that by March this year, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Abuja is going to be closed for major repairs, with Kaduna International Airport to serve as alternative, Kaduna State government commenced massive reconstruction of some critical facilities, notably roads within and outside the metropolis for easy movement. The 5.1-kilometer road from Rigasa Railway Terminus down to Mondo and to Kaduna International Airport is one of such work the state government has started, now at an appreciable level of completion. If actualized, passengers from Abuja who travel through the rail to take the next flight at Kaduna International Airport will not be challenged by having to traverse Rigasa and the Western Bypass to get to the airport.
For this deadline for the relocation of this airport, this road will be passable.
In another development, residents of Goningora in the outskirts of Kaduna have expressed appreciation with the consumption by the administration of Governor Nasiru Ahmad El-Rufai, owing to the ongoing construction of 10-kilometer Rumi Road and Hayin Katafa Bridge that commenced 8 years ago, but later abandoned, putting the residents in an untold hardship, especially during rainy season.
The project was abandoned. Since then, we've been suffering. In terms of anytime rain comes, there is no way you can cross here.
The projects are expected to be completed in less than 5 months. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Still talking road network, the hardship encountered by road travelers in the southeast due to deplorable conditions of roads is gradually giving way to smooth ride and increase in socioeconomic activities. Works and housing correspondent Mohammed Hamza Sheikh, just back from the region, examines road projects in the southeast and their impact on the economy.
For 3 years and above, federal road projects in the southeast were abandoned, mainly due to non-payment to contractors handling them. During that period of abandonment, most of the roads which were constructed during the colonial days and the high volume of traffic on them suffered various deformations and distresses, thereby significantly affecting socio-economic activities in the region. But with the recall of contractors after initial payment to them by the present administration, almost all road projects in the southeast are now ongoing. In all states of the southeast, therefore, road projects of various length and scope are currently at different stages of completion. In Imo State, for instance, the ongoing projects include construction of dual carriageway on Owerri-Aba Ikot-Ekpene border, linking Akwa Ibom, Abia, and Imo States. Mbise-Ngwa Road, linking Abia to Imo State, and the rehabilitation, expansion, and improvement of the Owerri-Umuahia Road, with the construction of a roundabout at Akahira Junction, which is aimed at eliminating daily traffic gridlock caused by converging heavy trucks. 5 of the federal road projects in Ebonyi State have received the blessing of the state government's intervention to the tune of about 25 billion naira, which the federal government gave assurance of refunding. However, work is ongoing on other federal road projects, including the construction of Ohafia Oso Road, which links Ebonyi to Abia State, Inenwe Uduma Oburu Road, which connects Ebonyi to Enugu, and the rehabilitation of Abakaliki Afikpo Road.
Government at the federal level is blind to party when it comes to development. Every state of this federation is part of the constituency of Mr. President, and we have his mandate to partner with, not to compete with the states.
Abia State has about 10 federal road projects, including the Abriba Arochukwu or Hafia Road, which links Arochukwu to the oil-producing states of Akwa Ibom and Cross River, the Aba Ikot-Ekpene Road, which links Abia to Akwa Ibom State, and the all-important Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway, which connects all the 5 states of the southeast and the neighboring south-south region. The Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway is one of the most viable roads in the southeast. It has economic and social importance. It covers about 218 kilometers and linking about 5 states in the southeast.
As we close on 2016 budget and 2017 comes in, then you will see the second rain. That's the rain that brings the coolness. That's the rain that brings the result.
The construction and expansion of Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway and other road projects in the southeast are steadily bringing back economic and social activities in the region through job creation and opening up markets for both petty and big businesses, while travel time and vehicle maintenance costs are significantly reduced. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
Let's take a look at street lights now. The Federal Capital Administration says it will procure 21 generating sets this year to power street lights in Abuja metropolis, following inadequate power. Acting Coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, Safia Umar, made this known at a briefing on city management in Abuja. Mitari Ikben has details.
It is common lately to experience darkness along some of the streets of Abuja at night, as the street lights are not functional. The development has robbed the city of its aesthetics, just as motorists complain of poor visibility, which sometimes result to avoidable accidents. The city managers attribute the problem to inadequate power supply, hence the resort to the use of generating sets.
We supplement with at least 6 of our gen sets. We have to go through a lot of hurdles in getting diesels to be able to keep off, especially the Villa section. And we are always at AEDC Road in order to insist and ensure that they provide us with light at our very critical areas.
Following the spate of vandalism in Abuja, the AMMC boss revealed that 4 of her staff have been suspended for conniving with hoodlums to vandalize public property.
Our staffs that are partnering with some of the contractors We ensure we brought them to books, undergoing various disciplinary measures. Some are being prosecuted.
She appealed to Abuja residents to support ongoing efforts at improving the sanitary condition of the nation's capital. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Report just reaching us says organized labor unions took to the streets in Abuja and Lagos, calling on the federal government to intensify its fight against corruption across board and down to local government levels. They commended President Muhammadu Buhari for taking up the fight and urged him not to relent in ensuring that needed infrastructure that will bring development and growth are in place. At the presidential villa, where acting President Yemi Osinbajo met with the labor leaders and some representatives, he identified mismanagement of the nation's resources in the past as being the bane to growth. He assured the labor leaders that their demands would be incorporated into the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020. The acting president said President Muhammadu Buhari has always been concerned about the living conditions of the people, which explain the reason behind the bailout to states for the payment of salaries, the social investment programs, and the reform in the justice system, all towards ensuring that everyone is held accountable through due process and the rule of law.
Whatever it is that anyone may say about the government of President Buhari, we have in that gentleman an honest man. This country needs an honest leader for a start. You must have if we don't have an honest leader, you can do all the mirrors, smokes and mirrors, you can do all the appearances, but if the leadership of this country is not honest, there is no way this country can survive. We will continue to go back round and round in circles. Things might be difficult today, but I am completely assured that if we stay the course, if we continue to produce as we are producing, give the right incentives to manufacturers, give the right incentives to farmers, give the right incentives, and help the poor today with the things we are doing, conditional cash transfers, employment, and all of those kinds of things. This country will not only get out of recession, but it will go towards a path of sustainable development. And we must fight corruption. If we don't fight, if we can't deal with corruption, then all of what we are doing is a waste. Because all the resources of this nation, if a few can pillage it, if a few can steal it and get away with it, then we're just going to keep going round and round in
Representatives of the workers Ayuba Waba and Bala Kaima jointly presented the union's demands to the acting president. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Stay with us here in NTA Nationwide. We have a lot more for you after the break.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Chairman of all chairmen. Oh, let me wash your hand for you. Don't worry. Let me take toothpick and... Hey. According to Professor, tranquilizer. I am disappointed, aghast, crestfallen, and vanquished at your shameful display.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Ogus Baba.
I'd like to see Mr. Udo Eto.
I hear you now, but find me something.
Are you mad?
Go.
Goodness, August, you're showing your shit.
Oh. Very nice man. Generous.
Okay, anything for the guests. Maybe feature or something.
Happy weekend, sir.
Thank you.
Today is Wednesday.
Professor John Bull, this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
I'm finished. Who finished you? Find me something, find me something, man.
Over and out. Welcome to the new speed of life.
NTA Television College, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, a specialized institution charged to provide quality professional education in television production, engineering, and journalism. The college is offering 4 weeks course on computer graphics and animations to train new entrants and retraining of existing media operatives. Date 6th February to 3rd March 2017. Registration 100,000 naira with accommodation. Also, 1 week intensive course in advanced management techniques for executive officers, CEOs, COOs, managers, and heads of admin. Date 13th of March to 17th of March 2017. Registration 20,000 naira. Another 4 weeks course on principles and practice of marketing for marketing heads in radios and television houses, public relation agencies, media heads in advertising, brand support managers, media brokers, and heads of corporate affairs. Date 20th of March to 14th April 2017. Registration 100,000 naira with accommodation. All courses will take place at NTA Television College Rayfield Jos. For more inquiries, call 08069809807 or call 07036607155 or email us at ntacollege@gmail.com. NTA Television College, training you to be the best you want to be.
Steps required to activate a free TV decoder. Connect the set-top box to an external aerial and follow the on-screen welcome message. After a successful scanning, the box will detect services. To activate your digital TV pass, SMS your unique ID number to 090-999-66669. Then send. Or call the toll-free line 080-0388-7277 or the paid line 070-0388-7277 and follow the instructions using your mobile phone. Your box will receive entitlement refresh and should start showing all the TV channels. Free TV, brought to you by NBC.
NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, a subsidiary of the Nigerian Television Authority, specializes in creating comfort in all areas of life, such as real estate investments, that is, land, houses, and office spaces, mass leasing, savings and loan scheme, household items and car loans, and so much more. Other information and entertainment services include Property in Style, a TV program that airs on the network service of the NTA, and also Property Connect, a nationwide magazine. Our priority is to bridge poverty gaps and sustain quality welfare of our clients. Partner with us and watch us help you grow. Pay us a visit today at the NTA headquarters permanent site, Area 11 Garki, Abuja, or our Lagos office at number 15 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. For more information, visit our website on www.ntaproperties.com.ng, or you can email us on ntapeak2000@yahoo.com. Call us on 080-2316-3474 or 080-6939-5185 or 070-3189-0555. NTA Properties Investment Company Limited, the much needed help at your doorstep.
You're welcome back. You're watching NTA Nationwide. Goods worth millions of naira have been destroyed by fire at Kure Ultra Modern Market, Mina, Niger State. Momso Damian Dati reports that the source of the fire, which started at 10 o'clock in the night, is yet to be ascertained.
Out tearful and sad for some traders in Kure Ultra Modern Market who woke up to the unfortunate incident of a fire which destroyed 15 shops on block KJ06. Eyewitness accounts reveal that although the fire started at about 8 o'clock last night, the real cause cannot be ascertained, considering the fact that the affected block is not connected to electricity.
To those people that are cooking inside the market, is from there we are thinking that the problem is
maybe the woman who was frying nearby do not put the fire properly, and the fire just started from there.
Our load is not the thing where we go count.
Victims were counting their losses, and some made efforts to salvage the remains of the goods untouched by the fire. The timely intervention of firefighters and security operatives had helped curtail the spread of the fire to other shops. Most touching is the story of Rabiat Musa, a trader in plastic items, who used all the money she had to purchase goods yesterday, with plans to go and sell in some village markets, only for her to come this morning and discover everything had turned to ashes.
Village, so she lost all the markets.
Over 90 years old Mama Mokwelola Akanbi is another special case who came to work at her usual time, only to meet her shop burned.
I am a petty trader. Nothing of mine was rescued.
The incident attracted the urgent intervention of Niger State Emergency Management Agency.
Come and one commiserate with the victims and also take an in-depth assessment and also make post-disaster recovery recommendations for his immediate intervention.
Items lost to the inferno include electronics, provisions, food items, footwears, and perfumes, among others. Meanwhile, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who commiserated with the victims, had assured that the state government is currently reviewing its fire safety code, hence the need for the people to avoid keeping inflammable liquids in their shops. In Mina, Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
This is NTA Nationwide. And now let's quickly get some stories from our Jos Network Center where Caleb is standing by. Caleb, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Joseph. Welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong has inaugurated 14 patrol pickup vans and 2 heavy-duty trucks for the Vehicle Inspection Department of the Ministry of Works and Transport, as well as 2 pothole patchers. Correspondent Paul Dama reports that the event took place at the VIO testing ground along Redfield Road in Jos.
This inauguration is indeed a milestone, as the last time vehicles were acquired for the operations of the vehicle inspection officers in the state was in 1979. Governor Simon Lalong says his administration is consistently adding value to every critical sector of the economy for effective service delivery, which will in turn add value to the entire governance process in the state. Governor Lalong expressed his commitment to providing a conducive working environment for those tasked with the regulation and management of road traffic, as the state stands to improve on its internally generated revenue through road user charges, driver's licensing, as well as other vehicular taxes that fall within the mandate of traffic management agencies. The governor also used the opportunity to express his displeasure over the indiscriminate erection of road bumps and other unwholesome activities on major highways by unauthorized persons.
I had the cause to call a few of the chairmen, and I said, go and tell your people, the roads are not meant to be used like that. If you start creating bumps for accident, very soon we'll go down to every local government.
Commissioner for Works, Pam Dongs, says the inability of the vehicle inspection officers to perform their statutory responsibilities is as a result of poor funding and provision of tools, neglect by past administrations, and manpower needs, as presently the number of workforce of the VIO stands at only 40 across the state. His counterpart in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, architect Sam Galadima, said the prompt intervention of the present administration led to the importation of the 2 pothole patchers, which were purchased since 2013 but abandoned in the United States of America. In Jos, Paul Dama, NTA News.
House of Representatives has reiterated its commitment to ensuring that internal security is given appropriate attention it deserves in the country. Chairman House Committee on Police Affairs, Haliru Jika, said this while on oversight in Zone 12 of the Nigerian Police, which has its headquarters in Bauchi.
The Chairman House Committee on Police Affairs, Haliru Jika, along with other members of the committee, said the 8th Assembly attaches proper priority to internal security. The chairman and members of his committee were led by the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 12, AIG Jibrin Yakubu, to Yelwa Police Training School, Mobile Police Barracks, Inkil, and the proposed site for the Nigeria Police Secondary School, Kafin Madaki, all in Bauchi State. During the visit, the committee expresses mixed reactions with regard to what it saw at some of the places it visited.
As provided in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, before we appropriate, we will go on oversight to see how far they utilize the 2016 appropriation. So far so good. I think the contractor now has been mobilized and he has reported to site.
AIG Zone 12, Jibrin Yakubu, also intimated the committee of the challenges bedeviling the zone, which include poor accommodation, inadequate operational vehicles, and water supply, among several others.
Their visit is very commendable, and it has gone a long way to demonstrate their interest about the welfare and the well-being of the Nigerian police force.
During the oversight, the committee took time off its schedule and paid homage to the Emir of Bauchi, Alhaji Rulwan Suleiman Adamu, and to the district head of Ganjua and Madakin Bauchi, Alhaji Baba Muhammad Girado, at their palaces. In Bauchi, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTN News.
And that would be it from our Jos Network Center. Now, let's take a look at some of the other stories from around the world for you. Somalians hopeful of better deals and explosion at Flamanville nuclear plant in France. These and more on Global Tidbits with Talatu Rezerike.
High expectations as Somalians look forward to good governance under the newly elected President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed, popularly called Mr. Cheese. Challenges before him include making federalism work, reduce corruption and improve security. Still in Africa, a Kenya High Court has turned down government decision to close the largest refugee camp in the world. According to the government, its decision to close the Dab refugee camp set up in 1991 is based on security reasons. It strongly believes that attacks on Kenya by the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab group were planned in the camp. Similarly, German Chancellor Angela Merkel takes measures to increase deportations of failed asylum seekers. And an explosion and fire have occurred at the Flamanville nuclear plant in France. Officials say there is no nuclear risk and no report of serious injury. That is on Global Tidbits. Talat Izarike, NTA News.
And talking sports, Nigeria moved 9 places in the latest FIFA World Ranking as 5 Nigerian cyclists wait to depart Abuja to Egypt for African Continental Cycling Championship. Tamara Ebiwe has details on a sports update.
Nigeria moved up 9 places in the February FIFA Men's World Ranking released Thursday to the 41st position in the world and 7th in Africa. The Super Eagles are behind African champions Cameroon, who were the biggest movers with 29 steps to 33rd in the world and 3rd in Africa, with Egypt and Senegal completing the top 3. France edged Colombia to 6th spot in a world top 10, led by Argentina, while European champions Portugal sit on 8th. Meanwhile, 3 Nigerian club sides, Enugu Rangers, Rivers United, and Wiki Tourists are already out of the country for their continental engagements, while league defending champions Rangers International have a date with JS Saoura of Algeria in the CAF Champions League. Rivers United will face AS Real Bamako in Mali. Wiki Tourists will engage Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces FC in the CAF Confederation Cup. All the teams will play on Saturday. In another development, 5 Nigerian cyclists will depart Abuja to Luxor, Egypt, for the 2017 African Continental Road Championships, which starts Tuesday next week. About 20 teams with 5 to 8 athletes per team will compete in the male and female categories. Team Nigeria, which is making second appearance in the annual competition since 2013, is expected to face stiffer opposition from defending champions Morocco and Eritrea.
We are going to give out our best. We are going to fight. We believe that we can do well.
Former world #1 female player Maria Sharapova has been invited to play at the Madrid Open in May, 2 weeks after the expiration of her 15-month doping ban. The 5-time Grand Slam winner has been given wild card for the event. With sports update, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
And that's NTA. Thank you very much indeed for your company. I'm Joseph Johnson. Bye-bye.